YouTube, what's going on? She got Professor Smell Good, and we back, baby. Good morning, you guys. All right, today's topic is oil game noise. So what is oil game noise? Oil game noise is in three sections: men, women, and unisex. Okay? A fragrance that is the most talked about amongst the people that purchase the oils out there in the streets or whatever, inside of a flea market, grocery store, in the mall, etc. But from amongst the people that purchase oil, what are the oils that are talked about the most? From amongst the men, women, and unisex, this is called the oil game noise. And that fragrance that is talked about the most, that is the oil game noise, okay? Got it? All right. Now, before I actually tell you about the fragrance right now that is considered the oil game noise, let's take it all the way back. Let's go back to 1988, okay? Medina was actually started in 1986, if I'm not mistaken, the same year I was born, okay? 1988, 2 years after that, Cool Water came out. When Cool Water actually came out, the guys who actually made the oils, they hopped on it, right? So when they put the Cool Water out, Cool Water became a hit. Cool Water was the oil game noise from 1988 all the way up until 1993. From 1988 all the way up until 1993, Cool Water, for the men, was considered the oil game noise. Follow me. All right. That's what everybody was asking about in 1993. How's it going this morning? That's what everybody was asking about. From 1988 to 1993, anybody that purchased oils, of course, Egyptian Musk, we're going to talk about that too, but I'm talking about as far as the men fragrance, that was the one that everybody talked about the most. Until, guess what? Until 1994. In 1994, Izumiyaki came out. When Izumiyaki came out in 1994, Izumiyaki was the one that was Izumiyaki was the oil game noise. That was the one that was talked about the most. And you still hear some noise about it still to this day, but it's not considered the oil game noise because let me add something else to the definition of oil game noise. Of course, I told you the fragrance for the men, women, and unisex that is talked about the most, but also this is one of the indications that that fragrance is considered the oil game noise. If that fragrance is asked about 20, at least 30. If that fragrance, no, that's too much. At least 20 times a week. If that fragrance is asked about, and people ask about that fragrance, not purchase, but if somebody asks about that fragrance at least 20 times a week, that fragrance is considered oil game noise. You understand? All right. So let's get back to the topic. Okay, so when Izumiyaki came out in 1994, Izumiyaki was considered oil game noise. Everybody was all over Izumiyaki, man. And actually, I actually did research. They use pheromones to make Izumiyaki, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. All right. So Izumiyaki was considered oil game noise from 1994 all the way up until 1995. 1995. Jean Paul Gaultier came out, and when Jean Paul Gaultier came out, it replaced Izumiyaki as far as the oil game noise. And you know, the Izumiyaki, when it came out, it was doing its thing. It will obviously, people would still buy it because people got used to the scent. People like the scent. People get compliments from the scent. So people actually still buy it. Good morning. People would still buy it. But when Jean Paul came out, Jean Paul Gaultier got way more requests than Izumiyaki. If you think of anybody that sell oil in 1995, anybody can actually tell you that Jean Paul Gaultier, from 1995 all the way up until 2011, from 1995, this show you how long the Jean Paul was actually doing his thing. From 1995 all the way up until 2011, Jean Paul Gaultier was considered the oil game noise in the oil game, period. From 1995 when it came out, all the way up until 2011. If you notice and you pay close attention, it will always do its thing until another fragrance that is better than it replaces it. Okay? So if a fragrance comes, like for example, I'm giving an example. John Paul came out in 1995, okay? Let's say another fragrance came out after that, okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I can think of a fragrance that came out before then, 2011. Let me see. Let's take Lagerfeld, for example. Lagerfeld don't sell better than Jean Paul Gaultier because Jean Paul Gaultier caters to, it's a 25 on up type of fragrance. 25 on up. So, Lagerfeld didn't sell more than it, okay? That's the reason why Cool Water Issey Miyake, those two before, was not considered oil game, was not considered the oil game noise anymore. Because it didn't sell as much. It wasn't requested as much when that one came out. You follow me? All right. So from 1995 all the way up until 2011, Jean Paul Gaultier was the top seller amongst the men fragrances. Amongst the men fragrances from 1995 all the way up to 2011. Now what happened in 2011? 2011, there was a fragrance came out called Gucci Guilty. When Gucci Guilty came out in 2011, okay? Gucci Guilty replaced Jean Paul Gaultier. That became the most talked about fragrance when Gucci Guilty came out. And I'm gonna tell you something about Gucci Guilty, man. Gucci Guilty is not even strong though. It's not strong. It's an aquatic. Yeah, you know this one, right? It's an aquatic, masculine type of scent. It's an aquatic, in between, masculine, fresh, clean, out the shower type of scent. And that actually replaced Jean Paul Gaultier in 2011. From 2011, they actually had, you know, Gucci Guilty had legs pretty much for 2 years. From 2011 up until 2013. 2013, that's when the oil game noise started to actually digress.
Where you digging?
Waiting for you.
I need
I got these on sale right here. These are $3 right here. You get 6 of these jumbo ones. It's a mixed pack. Each one of these burn 3 hours right here.
I want them.
What's that?
I want them.
You don't want those?
No.
You want the strongest I got, right? Okay. Actually, these are the strongest I got right here. Yep. The brown sugar baby, I don't have any more of those, but these are pretty strong right here. I'm getting a lot of good reviews off these.
I don't want the big ones like that.
Oh, you want the, okay, then you can get the mixed pack here. Mixed pack is like 12 different flavors in here.
How much is that?
$3, you get 30 sticks. You been all right though?
Yeah. Had a birthday this weekend.
Oh, okay. What you do for it?
Never went out to dinner, Golden Thread. It was on the, Tuesday.
Okay, all right. All right. Good to see you, man. Here we go. Okay. All right, so Gucci Guilty actually had legs for 2 years. All right? Gucci Guilty was only able to run for at least 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Gucci Guilty, you know, doing this thing for 1 or 2 rounds, jabbing, slipping, ducking for 2 years. Guess what happened? It only lasted 2 rounds. You got me. 3rd round got knocked out. By who? Polo Red. Polo Red came out 2013. Polo Red came out in 2013. All right, now let's go back. Let's go back so you can get the excitement of it. Good morning, you guys. Can I give you out a free sample when you guys come back out? Okay. What about you right here?
I have added.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's go back. So Jean Paul Gaultier was actually the one that had the most spike. Jean Paul lasted 6 rounds from 1995 all the way up until 2011. Okay. So far that I know, no other ones. Hold on, let me see. All right. Oh no. Cool Water and Issey Miyake. Cool Water lasted about around the same amount of time. Then, Cool Water and Jean Paul, they neck to neck. Actually, no, I said 1993, 1994. Cool Water lasted from 1988 all the way up until 1994. 1994, Issey Miyake came out in 1994. So as soon as that came out, it replaced it. Okay, so All right, now have a good one now. All right. So it lasted 6 years. So Cool Water, and John Paul Gaultier, they lasted the most rounds, 6 rounds. I'm trying to see who can withstand 12 rounds. Okay, there's one that actually, lasted 12 rounds and still is going, right? We're going to talk about that one. That's actually in the unisex section. Okay, but so far as for the men, nobody lasts 12 rounds, all right? Now, let's get back to it. So, Gucci Guilty, how's it going this morning? Gucci Guilty lasts 2 rounds. From 2011 to 2013, and Polo Red replaced it. Polo Red in 2013 replaced Gucci Guilty. Gucci Guilty was that deal for 2 years, but when Polo Red came out, Polo Red became that hit. It became that deal. You know what I'm saying? And so, now listen to this. Polo Red only lasted 2 years as well. Now let me just go back. Polo Red, when Polo Red came out, man, Polo Red, everybody was talking about Polo Red. When I was selling oils, everybody asked, hey, listen, you got the Polo Red? You got the Polo Red? I'm like, dang, man, it was to a point where the whole month would go past and only one bottle of Egyptian musk would be sold, but everything else was Polo Red. Polo Red was selling pretty good. All right? That lasted for 2 years. From 2013 all the way up to 2015. 15, what came out to replace it? Dior Sauvage. Dior Sauvage. Dior Sauvage came out in 2015. 2015, Dior Sauvage came out, and actually, I'm gonna take a jump here. From 2015 all the way up into 2018, Dior Sauvage is actually tied with the in the 2018 Oil Game Noise. There's a tie between Dior Sauvage and the one that I'm gonna mention. Here it is. All right, so Dior Sauvage came out 2015. 2016, there was another one. There was 2. Dior Sauvage stayed. The Oil Game Noise. Hey, how you doing this morning? Pretty happy when you coming out? Okay. In 2016, it had a partner. Dior Sauvage had a co-partner. They was neck to neck. They was tied. Maritime by Tommy Bahamas. Tommy Bahamas came out in 2016. When they came out, the Dior Sauvage and the Maritime was pretty much neck to neck. Okay? Now, Maritime and Dior Sauvage, Maritime actually lasted all the way up until, how you doing this morning? Lasted all the way up until now, 2018. But guess what? There's a fragrance that replaced the Maritime. And the Maritime is just slightly under it. Polo Red Rush. Polo Red Rush just came out this year in April, okay? Polo Red Rush, that's the new Polo Red. When that came out in April, that had a notch, had a step over Maritime. But guess what? According to, I talked to some corporations, Dior Sauvage and Polo Red, they just like this. Actually, Dior Sauvage is over Polo Red Rush. But it's so close that I have to add those 2 together. So, as far as the Oil Game Noise. So, for 2018, the Oil Game Noise. The 2 fragrances that are considered the Oil Game Noise is Dior Sauvage and Polo Red Rush for the men. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, listen, please subscribe to the channel. Comment below. Let me know which one of the men's fragrances out of those one I mentioned that you like the most. Let me know what type of experience you have with the fragrances that I mentioned. You got Professor Smell Good. Thank you.